students get expelled for no. So I completely disagree with it. I mean, look, when Claudine Gate went through the process, right? People are here saying that she was a diversity hire. I mean, she went to Phillips Exeter, she went to Princeton, then she went to Stanford. She got her PhD at Harvard, where she got top marks in the dissertation for political science. She had the #1 dissertation in political science. And so you say plagiarism, no, but in that dissertation, the argument that you're making is that everyone who reviewed her paper, which is not just one professor, multiple professors at Harvard reviewed her paper and gave her the best academic marks. None of us are PhDs. We're not people who are in academic writing. And again, I'm saying if your point is there's 50 allegations, why isn't there a full process? Why don't you agree to have a 7-month process, just like the president said for it? Well, sure, why should it be that different like case, so a 1-month process where they can look at all the different ways in which she plagiarized things. But the fact that she got good marks on communication, this is totally irrelevant. But I think it's a change of subject, right? This is a pattern of serious fraud that would destroy the career. So let there be let there be investigation. I mean, the reality is the right-wing mob that is really behind this has claimed this as a victory against DEI. They've been saying over and over again, where it was an investigation and they uncovered maybe 1/10 of what there was to uncover. What that tells me is that they wanted to keep it hush-hush. And like I said, they could have hired a third party, just like Stanford did. They hired Kirkland Ellis to come in as a third party. They went through 7 months. So what do you think that would find that investigation? I think they would offer a fair process. I think what we're asking for, they would find all 60 of the 50 examples, and maybe they were, and maybe they weren't. But the reality is she didn't get a fair process. And I think part of that has to do with DEI. It has to do with the fact that there was a racial animus that was building. There were all these racial tensions that were building up, and people were coming out of the process to the legislation McGill get. You got much more of a process than McGill. And so was white.
So that allegation about the part about people bringing these allegations, actually themselves saying that this was about DEI. They are saying that this is about ending diversity, equity, and inclusion in higher ed. So why are they bringing that up if it's not a party?
Look, I'm sure that this is partly political in the sense that Claudine Gay is viewed as by them as a DEI hire. She has made DEI very important herself. But that's part of it, or is that racially driven? I don't think it's racially. It's politically driven. DEI is a political ideology, and a lot of people oppose it. And obviously, they want to take down people that represent it. But that is a separate question. It's like, you went to law school. In a courtroom, would it matter the motives of the accuser, or would it matter the evidence? It would matter that the evidence was overwhelming. It would matter that we had a fair process, that there was a trial, that people were presenting the evidence, and there was a judge that made a ruling. Instead, this is one person that's an anonymous blogger. We're taking their word for it. Well, this is our input, an anonymous blogger. But again, it's Zanghazi or journalistic outlets. I think if you look at
and I think that's a fair point. The allegations, some of them are from an anonymous person, but